1 week after the life support emergency, the Academy was buzzing with new energy. The story of how humans had saved an entire classroom during a crisis had spread throughout the campus. Humans were no longer just strange newcomers. They were heroes. Krelvor, Miralith, and Draz sat in a special meeting room, waiting nervously. They had been summoned by the Academy Council, the highest authority of the school. "Do you think we're in trouble?" Miralith asked, her skin shifting colors with anxiety. "Our research exposed classified information," Krelvor replied. But Professor Zixtul approved it. The doors opened, and 7 senior officials entered, representatives from different species who governed the Academy. Professor Zixtul followed behind them. "Thank you for coming," said Head Administrator Vorn, an elderly Treskin with flowing white tendrils. "Your research project has caused quite a stir." Jack entered the room and took a seat beside his teammates. He had bandages on his hands from the injuries during the emergency. Administrator Vorn continued, "For 70 years, the Galactic Union has carefully managed information about Earth and humans. We believed it was necessary for peaceful integration." Another council member, a crystalline core, spoke next. "But recent events have forced us to reconsider this policy. Your team's research, combined with the emergency response, has changed many minds." Professor Zixtul stepped forward. "I have something to show you." He activated a large screen on the wall. It displayed messages from across the Academy, students sharing stories about humans, asking questions, expressing interest rather than fear. "The response has been surprising," the professor explained. "Instead of panic, we're seeing curiosity. Instead of fear, respect." Administrator Vorn nodded. "The Council has made a decision. Earth's true classification will be revealed. Class 15, the only inhabited death world known to the Galactic Union." The team exchanged glances. Their simple project had changed galactic policy. "Furthermore," Vorn continued, "we're establishing a new cultural exchange program between Earth and other worlds. Students across the galaxy should understand what humans really are." Jack looked surprised. "You're not worried about how other species will react?" "We were," the Crystalline Council member admitted. "But your actions during the crisis showed that human adaptability isn't something to fear. It's something we can learn from." Professor Zixtul addressed the team directly. "Your project will become the foundation for a new educational program. All Academy students will learn what Deathworld really means, not just a dangerous planet, but a forge that creates resilient species." Krelvor spoke up. "But humans are physically different from us. We cannot become like them." "True," the professor agreed, "but we can learn their mindset, their problem-solving, their refusal to give up." Jack smiled at his alien friends. "That's the real secret of humans. Not our bodies, but our minds. We don't just survive. We find ways to thrive in any situation." Administrator Vorn stood. "Jack Miller, the Council requests that you serve as the first human liaison officer. You will help bridge understanding between humans and other species." Jack nodded. "I would be honored." Later, as the team left the meeting, they found a crowd waiting outside. Students from dozens of species approached them eagerly. "Is it true humans can survive radiation?" one asked. "Can you teach us Earth survival techniques?" asked another. "Are there openings in the exchange program to visit Earth?" Jack laughed and held up his hands, one question at a time. Miralith's skin glowed with bright, happy colors. "I think the galaxy is ready for the truth about humans." Draz nodded his rocky head. "Humans aren't monsters from a death world. They're survivors with much to teach us." Krelvor watched as more students gathered around Jack, asking questions with excitement rather than fear. "We began this project to understand what Deathworld means," he said thoughtfully. "Now I see it doesn't mean a place of death at all. It means a place that creates extraordinary life." Jack looked around at his new friends from across the galaxy. For the first time, humans were being seen for what they truly were, not despite coming from Earth, but because of it. The Deathworld had created life that could thrive anywhere. And now, the entire galaxy would benefit from that strength. The team prepared to present their research to the advanced xenobiology class. The large lecture hall was filled with students from many different species. Professor Zixtel stood at the side, watching carefully. Krelvor spoke first. Our research project focused on why Earth is classified as a death world despite humans showing no obvious special adaptations. Images of Earth appeared on the large screen behind them. Mountains, oceans, deserts, and storms. We discovered that humans evolved on a planet with conditions lethal to most galactic species, Miralith continued. High gravity, toxic oxygen levels, extreme temperature variations, dangerous wildlife, and frequent natural disasters. Draz pointed to data charts. The average human can survive conditions that would kill most of us within minutes, not because of special physical features, but through incredible endurance and adaptability. As they presented their findings, murmurs spread through the classroom. Some students looked skeptical. Others seemed worried. "This is absurd," called out Vez, a tall insectoid student. "Humans are not special. You've been fooled by their propaganda." Jack stepped forward. "These findings are based on verifiable data and direct observation. Humans find normal what most species find deadly." "Prove it," Vez challenged. Before Jack could respond, alarms suddenly blared throughout the academy. Red lights flashed on the walls. "Emergency protocol activated," announced the academy's automated system. "Life support systems failing. Solar radiation storm approaching. All students proceed to designated safety areas." Panic erupted in the classroom. Many species were extremely sensitive to environmental changes. Even small adjustments in temperature or air composition could be dangerous for them. Professor Zixtel raised all four arms. "Remain calm. Follow emergency procedures." But as students rushed for the exits, the main doors suddenly locked shut. The professor hurried to an emergency panel and found it unresponsive. "The system is malfunctioning," he announced. "We're sealed in." The air began to grow warmer. Oxygen levels started to drop. Several students collapsed, their bodies unable to handle the changing conditions. While most aliens panicked, the humans in the room remained calm. Jack quickly took control of the situation. "Everyone listen," he shouted. "We need to organize. This is an environmental emergency, and humans are trained for this." To the aliens' surprise, all 5 humans in the class immediately formed an efficient team. They checked the fallen students, moved others to seats, and began examining the room's systems. "Lisa, check the ventilation shafts," Jack ordered. "Ryan, see if you can override the door locks. Kate, triage the affected students." The humans moved with confident purpose, showing no signs of the fear that gripped the aliens. Krelvor watched in amazement. "They're not even concerned," he whispered to Miralith. "This crisis is nothing to them." "They evolved for crisis," she replied, her skin pale with stress. "This is what they're made for." Jack found an access panel and pried it open with his bare hands. He reached inside, ignoring the electrical sparks that burned his skin. "The emergency override is damaged," he called out. "Ryan, I need your help." Together, the 2 humans manipulated wires and circuits that would have electrocuted most alien species. They worked through pain, through decreasing oxygen, through rising heat. Many of the alien students watched in stunned silence. The research presentation was continuing right before their eyes, not with words or data, but with living proof. After 10 tense minutes, the doors finally slid open. Emergency teams rushed in with medical equipment. Professor Zixtel approached Jack, who was helping injured students. "You saved many lives today," he said quietly. Jack shrugged. "Just doing what humans do." The professor looked around the room, where other staff members were staring at the humans with new understanding. "I believe," Professor Zixtel said slowly, "that your research project has just provided the most convincing demonstration possible." Jack smiled, though his hands were burned and bleeding. Some truths you have to see to believe. Across the Academy, urgent messages were being sent to the Galactic Union headquarters. The truth about humans could no longer be contained. The next day, Jack met the alien students outside the Academy's simulation center. The large, dome-shaped building was used to train students for various planetary environments. "I've arranged something special," Jack said. "With Professor Zixtol's approval, you're going to experience Earth conditions firsthand." Krelvor looked nervous. "Is that safe for non-humans?" "We'll start with mild settings," Jack assured them. "The simulation can be stopped at any time." Inside, technicians helped the aliens put on lightweight sensor suits. These would measure their biological responses during the simulation. "Ready?" Jack asked as they stood in the empty white room. The aliens nodded, though none of them looked confident. "Begin Earth simulation. Program Miller 1, Jack called out. The white walls disappeared. Suddenly, they were standing in a grassy field. The sun shone brightly overhead. Birds chirped in nearby trees. It looked peaceful. "This is Kansas," Jack explained. "Where I grew up. Average Earth conditions." Immediately, the aliens felt the difference. The gravity pulled at their bodies. Krelvor stumbled slightly. "So heavy," he said. Draz seemed least affected by the gravity, but he was breathing hard. "The air burns." "That's the oxygen," Jack explained. "Your bodies aren't used to it." Miralith's skin had turned a dull gray. "The radiation from your sun. I can feel it on my skin." "That's just normal sunlight," Jack said. "It's actually a nice day. About 22 degrees Celsius." The simulation advanced. The temperature rose. Clouds gathered. Soon, rain began to fall. "Water from the sky," Krelvor observed, flinching as drops hit him. "It's cold." "Just a spring shower," Jack said, standing comfortably as the rain soaked his clothes. The aliens huddled together as the weather worsened. Thunder boomed overhead. Lightning flashed. "Normal weather patterns," Jack explained. "Nothing dangerous by human standards." After 15 minutes, all 3 aliens were showing signs of stress. The simulation ended, returning to the White Room. "That was just the beginning," Jack said. "Those were mild Earth conditions. Would you like to try more extreme settings?" "No," all 3 aliens said together. Jack laughed. "Fair enough. You've made your point." They removed their sensor suits and gathered in a small conference room to review the data. "Your bodies experienced significant stress," Jack noted, looking at the readings. "Krelvor, your muscle strain was 3 times normal under Earth gravity. Miralith, your skin showed radiation absorption well beyond your safe levels. And Draz, even with your stone-like body, Earth's oxygen levels were causing respiratory distress. And humans live in these conditions every day." Miralith asked. "We're born in them," Jack confirmed. "We evolved to thrive there." Krelvor was studying the data carefully. "This explains so much about human behavior. You're all persistence predators." Jack nodded. "That's right. Most Earth animals can outrun or outfight humans in short bursts. But we can keep going for hours or days. We hunt by exhausting our prey." "But you don't just survive these conditions," Draz observed. "You said humans seek out challenges." "Exactly," Jack agreed. "We climb mountains because they're there. We explore oceans because they're unknown. We push our limits because that's what humans do." Miralith's skin was showing patterns of deep thought. "It's not just physical adaptation. Your psychology evolved in response to constant challenges." "Yes," Jack said. "Humans hate boredom. We need problems to solve, challenges to overcome. That explains why humans have advanced so quickly since joining the Galactic Union," Krelvor realized. "You've been applying your Deathworld drive to scientific and diplomatic problems." Jack smiled. "When you're used to surviving on a planet that's constantly trying to kill you, galactic politics seems pretty easy." The aliens were quiet for a moment, processing this new understanding. "I think," Miralith said slowly that the Galactic Union may have been right to classify this information. Many species would find humans terrifying. Are we? Jack asked. Terrifying. The aliens looked at each other, then back at the human. Yes, Draz admitted, but also impressive. What none of them knew was that their research was about to have consequences far beyond their small group. The video began to play. The alien students watched with wide eyes as a sleek silver ship landed in an open field. The camera shook slightly. It was handheld by a human observer. This footage was taken by a human named Alan Carter, Professor Zixtel explained. He was a farmer who witnessed the first landing. On screen, a door opened in the ship. 3 aliens emerged wearing what looked like heavy environmental suits. They moved slowly, clearly struggling with Earth's gravity. The first contact team was from Rallia, a low-gravity world, the professor continued. They had studied Earth from orbit and classified it as a death world. They expected to find primitive survivors, not a thriving civilization. The video showed humans approaching the aliens cautiously. Government officials arrived. First contact protocols began. Now watch what happens when the Rallians test Earth's atmosphere, Professor Zixtel said. On screen, one alien removed his helmet briefly. Panic immediately followed. The alien collapsed, gasping. The other Rallians rushed to help, dragging their companion back to their ship. Oxygen toxicity, the professor explained. Rallians breathe a different mix of gases. Earth's atmosphere was poisonous to them. Krulvor leaned forward. But humans breathe this toxic mix constantly. Exactly, Professor Zixtel said. What happened next changed everything. The video continued. It showed humans offering medical help, bringing equipment to the ship. Eventually, the sick Rallian recovered. Jack spoke up. The Rallians were shocked. They had expected Earth's conditions to be challenging for humans too. Instead, humans were trying to help them survive. Yes, the professor agreed. And then came the real revelation. The next video was from inside a meeting room. Humans and Rallians sat together, using early translation technology. We don't understand, a Rallian said. You live on a death world, yet you have no special adaptations. How do you survive? The human diplomat looked confused. What do you mean by death world? Your gravity is crushing. Your oxygen levels are toxic to most species. Your temperature variations would kill most beings. Your wildlife is aggressive. Your bacteria are everywhere. The human laughed. That's just normal for us. Professor Zixtel paused the video. This was the moment the Galactic Union realized the truth about humans. They weren't struggling to survive on a death world. They had evolved on it and thought these conditions were normal. Miralith's skin had turned a deep purple of shock. They didn't even know they were special. No, Jack said. We just thought we were people. Professor Zixtel nodded. The Rallians returned to the Galactic Union with disturbing news. Here was a species that considered lethal conditions normal. A species that could survive environments that would kill most galactic citizens instantly. So the Union classified the information, Krulvor said, understanding dawning. Yes, the professor confirmed. They feared panic. Imagine telling the galaxy that humans find breathing poison natural. That they drink a universal solvent, water, for pleasure. That they expose themselves to radiation from their sun deliberately. Draz looked at Jack with new eyes. You're not just adapted to a death world. You're made from it. Jack nodded slowly. We are Earth. Its harshness, its beauty, its endless challenges. They created us. The professor opened another file. After first contact, the Union sent research teams to Earth. What they discovered was even more shocking. The screen showed humans in everyday situations, playing sports, building structures, fighting fires, giving birth. Humans don't just survive, Professor Zixtel explained. They seek out challenges. They deliberately test their limits. They recover from injuries that would kill most species, and they do it all without realizing how extraordinary they are. He turned to the team. The Galactic Union feared that if other species learned the full truth about humans, there would be two reactions: terror or worship. Neither was acceptable. So Earth was officially classified as Class 12, Krelvor said. But that's not accurate, is it? No, the professor admitted. Earth is the only inhabited Class 15 Deathworld in known space, the only planet that produced a sentient species able to not just survive, but thrive in conditions that would kill most life forms. The aliens looked at Jack with new understanding and a hint of fear. "Don't worry," Jack said with a smile. "We come in peace." But the alien students weren't entirely sure if that was reassuring or not. Jack led the team to a secure section of the academy where special archives were kept. He placed his hand on a scanner and spoke clearly. "Jack Miller, Earth representative, requesting access to Earth military and exploration archives for educational purposes. Project code XB427. A green light flashed, and the door slid open. Inside was a small viewing room with comfortable seats and a large screen. "Make yourselves comfortable," Jack said. "These files aren't available to most non-humans." The aliens sat down nervously. This felt more serious than their usual research. "I'll start with something basic," Jack said as he accessed the files. "This is standard training for Earth's polar exploration teams." The screen showed humans trudging through blinding snow. Wind whipped around them, but they continued moving forward. Data at the bottom of the screen showed the temperature, -45 degrees. "This is basic survival training," Jack explained. "They're on a 3-day march across ice shelves." "Without environmental suits?" Krelvor asked, leaning forward. "Just cold weather gear. Nothing special by galactic standards." The next video showed humans in a desert. The temperature reading showed 52 degrees. The humans were digging, building shelters, and conserving water. "Desert survival," Jack said. "Most humans can go 3 days without water before serious problems occur." 3 days. Draz's rocky face showed rare emotion. "My species would die after 8 hours without liquid." Jack nodded and changed to another video. This one showed humans underwater, working on some kind of structure. "Deep sea construction," he explained. "The pressure there would crush most species." Miralith's skin had turned a pale blue of shock. "How are they adapting to these conditions?" "We don't adapt," Jack said simply. "We endure." The videos continued, each more impressive than the last. Humans climbing mountains without oxygen. Humans working in radiation zones. Humans recovering from injuries that would kill most alien species. "This can't be real," Draz insisted. "These must be propaganda films." Jack shrugged. "Think what you want. But these are standard training videos. Nothing special." Krelvor was typing notes rapidly. "If these are accurate, humans would be the most environmentally adaptable species in the Galactic Union." "Now you're getting it," Jack said with a smile. The door suddenly opened, and Professor Zixtel entered. His 4 arms were clasped behind his back, and his eyes narrowed at the screen. "I see your research has progressed to restricted files," he said. The alien students jumped in surprise, but Jack remained calm. "Educational access, Professor. All approved." Professor Zixtel nodded slowly. "Indeed. May I ask what conclusions your team has drawn so far?" Krelvor spoke up. "The data suggests humans have exceptional environmental adaptability, Professor, but these videos seem difficult to believe." "You suspect deception?" the professor asked. "We're considering all possibilities," Miralith said diplomatically. The professor was quiet for a moment. Then he made a decision. "I have visited Earth," he said finally, "as part of the 7th Contact Delegation." The alien students stared at their professor in surprise. "The videos are accurate," he continued. "In fact, they understate human capabilities." "But Professor," Draz protested, "if this is true, Why isn't it common knowledge? Professor Zixtal's expression became serious. That is a complex question with troubling answers. He moved to the console and entered his high-level access code. The screen changed to show a file labeled Restricted, First Contact Incident. If you truly wish to understand humans and Earth's classification, you must learn what happened 70 years ago. Why the Galactic Union decided certain information about humans should be managed. Jack looked surprised. Professor, are you sure that's wise? Your team has gone too far to stop now, the professor replied. And perhaps it's time for the truth to be known. He activated the file, and a video began to play. It showed the first alien ship to land on Earth. The date, June 12, 2157. Watch carefully. Professor Zixtal said, "What you are about to see changed galactic policy forever." The alien students leaned forward, not knowing that what they were about to learn would shake their understanding of the universe. The next day, Jack led his alien teammates to the human section of the Academy dormitories. He had arranged interviews with 3 other humans who had different backgrounds. "Remember," Jack said as they walked, "ask whatever you want. Humans aren't easily offended by curiosity." The first human they met was Lisa Howard, an engineer with short blonde hair and strong arms from working with heavy equipment. She greeted them in the common room with a friendly smile. "So you want to know about Earth?" Lisa asked after introductions. "What would you like to know?" Krelvor had prepared questions. "Please describe your childhood habitat." "I grew up in Oklahoma," Lisa said. "Tornado Alley, we call it. Every spring, massive windstorms would come through that could tear buildings apart." Miralith's skin paled. "Your young live in areas with regular atmospheric destruction." Lisa laughed. "Sure, we had storm shelters. When the sirens went off, we'd go underground until it passed. It was exciting as a kid." Draz leaned forward. "You found deadly weather. Exciting." "Well, yeah. The power of nature is amazing to watch," Lisa said, "though my parents wouldn't let me storm chase until I was 16. "Storm chase?" Krelvor asked. "People who follow tornadoes to study them, or just for fun," Lisa explained. "My uncle was really into it." The aliens exchanged glances, following deadly weather phenomena. For fun made no sense to them. Their next interview was with Ryan Lewis, a diplomat with dark skin and a calm voice. He specialized in interspecies relations. "The thing aliens find most surprising about humans," Ryan explained, "is our relationship with water." "What do you mean?" Miralith asked. "I grew up near the ocean in California. I started swimming when I was 3 years old. By 10, I was surfing in waves taller than me." "Swimming? In your planet's oceans?" Draz asked. "The files say Earth's oceans contain thousands of predator species." Ryan nodded. "Sharks, jellyfish, sea snakes, but mostly you alone. I find swimming in the ocean relaxing." "Relaxing," Krelvor repeated slowly, typing notes. "You find immersing yourself in a predator-filled liquid environment relaxing." "Absolutely. Nothing clears the mind like floating in the waves." The final interview was with Kate Williams, a security officer with red hair pulled back in a tight bun. Her muscular build showed her physical training. "Before the academy, I served in Earth's northern territories," Kate told them. "Winters reached -30 degrees regularly." "How did you survive?" Miralith asked. "Good gear, training, and the right mindset," Kate said simply. "Humans can adapt to almost any environment if we prepare properly." "The files say exposure to such temperatures would cause tissue damage," Krelvor noted. "Frostbite is a risk," Kate agreed. "I got it once on 2 fingers during a training exercise. They turned black before the medical team could treat me." "You lost your digits?" Draz asked, horrified. Kate held up her hand, showing all 5 fingers. "No, they healed. Took a few weeks." The alien stared at her hand in disbelief. "Humans can regenerate lost extremities?" Krelvor asked. "Not completely," Kate clarified. But we can often recover from injuries that would be fatal to other species. After the interviews, the team gathered to compare notes in a quiet corner of the Academy cafeteria. They must be exaggerating, Draz insisted. Swimming with predators, playing in deadly storms, surviving tissue-killing temperatures. It's impossible. Miralith's skin swirled with thoughtful patterns. I don't sense deception from them. They believe what they're saying. Belief doesn't make something true, Krelvor countered. We need verifiable evidence. Jack, who had been quiet during the interviews, finally spoke. You want real evidence. I can show you, but we'll need special access to Earth's military and exploration archives. Those would be restricted, Krelvor said. Jack smiled. Not to me. As Earth's representative, I can request access for educational purposes. Want to see what humans are really capable of. The aliens looked at each other. Their simple research project was becoming much more complex, but their curiosity was too strong to stop now. Show us, they said in unison. None of them noticed Professor Zixtol watching them from across the cafeteria, his 4 arms folded in concern. The Academy archives stretched over 50 floors, containing data from thousands of worlds. Krelvor led the group to a quiet study area on the 20th floor, where information about Class 10 to 15 planets was stored. Earth data should be in this section, he said, activating a large display screen. Let's begin our research. Jack sat back and watched as the 3 aliens pulled up files on Earth. Their reactions as they read were fascinating. Draz's rocky eyebrows rose higher. Miralith's skin changed colors rapidly. Krelvor kept blinking his large eyes. This can't be accurate, Draz finally said. It says Earth's gravity is 9.8 meters per second squared. That's nearly twice the galactic average. And the temperature ranges, Miralith added, from -40 to +45 degrees in some regions. How does anything survive such extremes? Jack shrugged. You get used to it. My hometown had snow in winter and hot summers. It's normal for us. Krelvor looked at Jack with new interest. Define snow, please. Frozen water that falls from the sky, Jack explained. Water falls from your sky. Draz asked slowly, and it's frozen. Yeah, in winter, kids make snowmen and have snowball fights. The aliens stared at him. You let your young play in frozen precipitation. Krelvor's voice contained shock. Jack laughed. Of course, it's fun. Miralith's skin turned a deep purple, showing her confusion. Fun. Playing in deadly temperature conditions is fun. It's not deadly for us, Jack said. Not if you dress warmly. The aliens exchanged glances. Something wasn't adding up. Krelvor returned to the data files. Look at this section on Earth's wildlife. It says your planet has over 8 million species, and thousands of them are potentially lethal to humans. That's right, Jack confirmed. We have poisonous snakes, bears, sharks, all kinds of dangerous animals. Yet you have no natural defenses, Draz observed. No poison resistance, no thick skin, no enhanced strength. We have our brains. Jack tapped his head. And we're pretty tough, actually. Miralith noticed something odd in the official files. The information is incomplete. Large sections about human physiology are restricted. Why would that be? Jack leaned forward. Interesting question. Maybe there's more to humans than the Galactic Union wants everyone to know. Krelvor's fingers moved quickly over the screen. There are inconsistencies in the classification documents. Some files rate Earth as Class 12. Others suggest it should be higher. Keep searching, Jack encouraged. You might find something interesting. Draz gave Jack a suspicious look. You seem very calm about all this. Most species are proud to explain their evolutionary advantages. I'm happy to explain, Jack said. But seeing is believing. Would you like to see some real evidence about humans? What kind of evidence? Krelvor asked. I can access Earth's public records, news reports, sports events, exploration videos. They'll show you what humans are really like. Miralith's skin brightened with interest. Yes, visual evidence would be valuable for our research. Jack used his Academy access code to connect to Earth's data networks. Let me show you something basic first. This is a human sporting event called marathon running. The screen displayed humans running long distances under a hot sun. They were sweating heavily, but continuing to move. How far are they running? Draz asked. About 42 kilometers, Jack replied casually. In a single day? Krelvor asked. In a single attempt, without stopping, Jack said. The best runners finish in just over 2 hours. The aliens fell silent, watching humans push their bodies to limits that would kill many species. This is considered entertainment? Miralith finally asked. Yep. Some humans run even longer distances for fun. There are races that go for 100 kilometers or more. Draz made a grinding noise with his stone teeth. This doesn't make sense. Your bodies appear so fragile. Appearances can be deceiving, Jack said with a smile. Let me show you more. As they continued their research, each new piece of information about Earth and humans left the aliens more confused. The official records described a deadly planet, yet humans talked about their world with affection, even pride. They spoke of dangerous activities as adventures and challenges rather than threats. By the end of the day, the team had gathered plenty of data, but had more questions than answers. They agreed to meet again tomorrow to interview more humans at the Academy. What none of them realized was that their innocent research project was already triggering alerts in the Academy's security system. Someone was watching their progress very carefully. Professor Zixtol walked into the classroom, his 4 arms carrying different teaching materials. The bright lights of the Galactic Union Academy shone off his blue-scaled skin. 30 students from 20 different species watched him closely. This was advanced xenobiology, the most challenging class in the Academy. Today we begin the most important project of the semester, Professor Zixtol said. His voice translator made his complex language understandable to all students. You will study the newest members of the Galactic Union, humans from planet Earth. A low murmur spread through the classroom. Humans had joined the Galactic Union only 5 years ago. Many species still knew little about them. Krelvor, a tall Vexian with gray skin and large black eyes, raised his hand. Professor, humans seem physically unimpressive. Why study them over the Croxians or Mantids? An excellent question, the professor said. Earth is classified as a Class 12 Deathworld, yet humans show no obvious physical advantages. Your task is to understand why. In the back row, Miralith leaned forward with interest. Her luminescent skin glowed slightly brighter, showing her excitement. As a Lumerian, she was naturally curious about all species. You will work in groups of 4, the professor continued. Each group will include 1 human exchange student. Draz, a stocky Baladan with rock-like skin, groaned quietly. Great, we have to babysit a fragile human. The professor displayed the group assignments on the main screen. Krelvor, Miralith, and Draz found themselves assigned to work with a human named Jack Miller. After class, the 3 aliens gathered at a study table in the Academy's main hall. They watched as a human approached them. He walked with a relaxed stride and smiled easily. His skin was light brown, his hair dark and short. Hi there, I'm Jack Miller. Looks like we're working together. He extended his hand toward them. Krelvor stared at the outstretched hand. We Vexians prefer not to touch. It interferes with our sensory abilities. No problem, Jack said, withdrawing his hand without offense. It's just a human greeting custom. Miralith's skin rippled with colors of welcome. I am Miralith. I find human customs fascinating. I'm Draz, the Baladan said flatly. Let's get something clear. This project is important to our grades. Don't slow us down. Jack smiled again. I'll do my best to keep up. Krelvor opened his data tablet. Our assignment is to understand why Earth is classified as a death world when humans appear so ordinary. Jack chuckled. We get that a lot. Is something amusing? Draz asked. Just that most species have interesting reactions when they learn about Earth, Jack replied. Miralith sensed something beneath Jack's casual attitude. A pride, perhaps, or a secret knowledge. The official records show Earth has extreme temperature variations, high gravity, intense radiation, dangerous wildlife, and frequent natural disasters. Krelvor read from his tablet. Yet you humans have no armor, no claws, no significant strength advantages. We manage, Jack said simply. Draz made a noise like stones grinding together, a Baladan sign of frustration. This makes no sense. My homeworld has perfect climate control, no predators, and stable geology. Yet my species has protective stone skin and enhanced strength. You have none of these but come from a far more dangerous world. Maybe there's more to survival than physical traits, Jack suggested. The three aliens exchanged glances. This human wasn't what they expected. We should start by analyzing Earth's environmental data, Krelvor suggested. Then compare human physiological responses to other species. Good idea, Jack agreed. I can provide some personal experiences too. Miralith's skin glowed with a gentle blue hue. I sense you have many stories to tell, Jack Miller. More than you might believe, he replied. There was that smile again. Knowing, patient, almost amused. The four agreed to meet the next day in the Academy archives. As they parted ways, Krelvor couldn't shake the feeling that they were missing something important about humans. Something that explained how such seemingly ordinary beings could evolve on a world that should have killed them long ago. What none of them realized yet was that their simple research project would soon uncover secrets that the Galactic Union had been carefully hiding. Truths about Earth and humans that would change everything they thought they knew about life in the universe.